here's the other thing as a leader. We're going to run into challenges created by people underneath us. We're going to run into challenges created by people in the sponsorship line above us. We're going to run into challenges created by the company screwing things up. In my network marketing career, I went from struggling, losing money for 5 years to becoming one of the highest income earners in the world and producing more than $22 billion worth of revenue for my team and my clients. I'm Randy Gage, and this is the Duplication Nation MLM Pod. Hey, let's talk about how you make sure you don't destroy your business with one errant DM in a group chat or an email. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. So I want to talk about how leaders handle challenges, how they solve them, and how they solve them in a way that protects their business long term and prevents you from doing something really simple that you think is an innocent thing that could destroy your business. And I'm not being melodramatic when I say that. I have seen people destroy their business with one message in a group, one email to a team. So came up with a company I consult with this morning. There's a group of top executives, top rank field leaders. Let's call them rubies. Okay. So there's 20 rubies in this group. And one of the people in the group had an issue. She woke up this morning, found out the company had done something. She wasn't aware they were going to do it. It was a change that affected the field. She woke up to a couple of texts from people in her team. Hey, what's going on? The company just did this. XYZ. What happened? We didn't know this. We weren't expecting this. So she put a message in the group to everyone else because it had some of the executives from the company are also in that chat. And wow, I woke up this morning and to a flurry of messages, and I can't believe the company did this, and why did nobody tell me? And she was obviously very frustrated, which I think she should have been, right? Felt like the company didn't handle that situation very well. But the thing that I wanted to share with her, which I did one-on-one off the chat, was, hey, that's not the way you want to handle this. We have one the prime directive, right? All my Star Trek fans will know that, with the Federation, there's a prime directive. We have one in network marketing too. The prime directive is negativity never, 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 never goes down group. Anything negative about another leader, about a problem with the product, about something the company did, goes to the upline, people who could help make the problem go away, or direct to the company, but it never goes downline. And I'm going to put I'm going to add on a second directive, which is also no negative, that negativity never, 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 never goes sideline as well. And sideline is just as important because when you send negativity and it goes sideline, now you're messing with other people's income. So what happened when she put this message in the group, there was other sidelines, and those sidelines had people below them who were in the group. And now here's one of these leaders making statements that would be perceived to be pretty critical of the company. And now they doubt, oh, am I in the right company? Oh man, did I make a mistake joining? Are this company evil, mean, nasty people? And later, the situation got resolved, I think the company would be the first to say, yeah, we could have handled the communication better. And this leader would say, yeah, I probably shouldn't have put that message in that group. So just be mindful of that. I saw a lady, one of my newer people who had like 15 people in her team. She didn't understand the comp plan. So this is back in the day, you got the checks via mail, monthly plan came the next month. So she joined the middle of, let's say, January, and she had like 15 people by the end of January. And then she picked up some more by the middle of February when the check came. Well, she didn't understand how the comp plan worked. She thought she was getting a bonus that she wasn't supposed to get. So she wrote this frothing, screaming, flaming diatribe email about me, her sponsor, and the company, and how everybody lied to her and misrepresented to her, and we're all godless communists, and how could we do such a thing, and whatever. And it was just a simple misunderstanding. But her group is done. Everybody read that and like, yeah, because they were all brand new. Some of them been in the business a day, 2 days. They hear this from the person at the top of their group, and she never recovered from that. After, when I was like, no, and I explained, no, you weren't supposed to get this bonus. Remember read this brochure. This is how the plan works. I'm sorry you misunderstood this when you saw the opportunity presentation, but this is the way it always is, and it's supposed to be. And she realized that she hadn't done that. She had been wrong. She wasn't supposed to get the bonus, and she wanted to put things back to the way they were, but she couldn't do it. She lost enough people that she ended up dropping out within a couple of weeks. And I still say if she never sent that email, she would still be in the business today, and she would have a really healthy income. So no negativity downline, no negativity crossline. Now, here's the other thing as a leader. We're going to run into challenges created by people underneath us. We're going to run into challenges created by people in the sponsorship line above us. We're going to run into challenges created by the company screwing things up. Something goes on back order for 4 months, a major product, a signature product. There will be a product recall, their product contamination. There are people literally who could eat bananas and they die, or they eat peanuts and they die. So there could be some horrific product adverse reaction. Or they muck up the comp plan, they make a really stupid change. The companies fuck up shit all the time, okay? So you have to worry about cross-line, below you, above you company. And there's another one we forgot to mention. You're gonna fuck up some things sometimes. You do, I do, everyone in the business does. We're not perfect, we make mistakes. So let's deal with the reality. One of the most important things you will have to do to become and maintain and stay as an empowering, successful leader in the business is you're going to have to learn how to do conflict resolution, and you're going to have to learn how to handle challenges when they come up and how to solve those challenges in ways that empower the team and don't disempower the team. So the conflict resolution stuff we'll talk about in another episode, and I have dealt with that in the past. But I want to talk specifically about solving problems, solving challenges as they come up now, because how you do this is going to determine your long-term success or not. Because here's the thing, when these challenges arise, there's only two categories that you can be a part of. Well, actually, I'm going to put three. I'm going to add one right now. I'm going to add the ostrich one, right? Because there are people who do that, who are like, okay, this horrible challenge just presented itself. So I'm going to go back to bed, pull the covers over my head, and hope it goes away. I'm going to just stay in the background and hope somebody in the sponsorship line or somebody in my team or somebody from the company magically makes this go away. And that's not leadership. Okay. So serious leaders would never do that. But a lot of people who believe they're leaders or want to be leaders sometimes default to that scenario. And you don't want to do that. It's not going to work for you. You've got to join one of the two other categories, which number one is the bitch and moan brigade, where everybody piles on, the company changes the comp plan, they screw it up, and so you're all bitching and moaning on the Facebook groups and the WhatsApp chats and the Signal and the Telegram chats and the email chains and the live meetings, and basically that's how you destroy your business. You've just given up the ghost if you do that, because you will not continue to have growth. You will not continue to have enrollments, because people at the lower levels will say, well, I was nervous about contacting candidates anyway. I'm afraid of being rejected anyway. Now I have this trauma and drama that everybody's talking about in that chat. I'm going to lay low and wait. And that's the death of your organization. The second of the two other categories that most people have to choose is what I will call the crisis containment unit. This is the group of people who say, okay, I'm not delusional. I'm not living in la la land. I recognize, man, there's a big fuck up here. Man, they changed the comp plan, and people who used to make 12,000 euros a month are down to 7,000 euro a month. And they're pissed, they're frustrated, they're quitting, they're taking deals to join other companies, they're trying to poach away the remaining people. This is a full-blown 5-alarm crisis. What am I going to do? Or it is, somebody died because they took the products, or there's a, overzealous attorney general and they're attacking your company in the media every day. Or maybe it's a legitimate government regulator and your company messed up and there's something that is wrong in the comp plan or the policies and procedures, and they're getting their clock cleaned because they messed up. Well, again, everybody messes up, even companies mess up. So you got to decide, okay, do I want to be in the bitch and moan brigade, or do I want to be in the crisis containment unit? So the crisis containment unit calls up someone at the company and says, listen, I need you to know what's happening. People who were making 12,000 euros a month are down to 7. Becky just took a deal with XYZ company. Freddie is thinking about taking that deal. Mohammed left, and now he's called 3 of my other executive directors, trying to poach them away. Ariel is undecided, and I think she could drop out at any minute. How can we fix this? What can I do to help? Is there some options here? How can we, put together something with some leaders? Let's get some dialogue between the company and the leaders. Is there a distributor advisory board that you can work through? How do I contain the crisis? Or as an example, in a situation like this, somebody puts something like that in the Facebook group or in the Telegram chat, you immediately pick up the phone call. Hey, you know what? You really don't want to put that message in there? Delete the message. Let's talk about how do we handle this with the company, because you're not going to be very popular because you put that and there's 22 other cross-line leaders in that group and you've just messed with their income. You're threatening to, you created a threat that their income is going to be impacted because you put negativity cross-line. So what the smart, savvy distributors do, of course, is they join the crisis containment unit. No matter what the scenario is, right? It's like, okay, hey, Mr. CEO, I think you've probably figured out by now that the fact that our number one product has been on back order for 4 months and we don't have any idea when it's come is destroying the business for all of us. How can I help you solve this problem? Because what you'll find for the most part is people will work with you. If you mess up anything, if you're willing to say, hey, I messed up, I'm sorry, I want to make it right, people will work with you. The mistake companies make often is they don't bring in the top leaders. They take the ostrich approach, right? Okay, I know they're going to kill us. We're going to get murdered on this. We just have to weather out the storm. So they just send an email to everyone. Oh, by the way, the signature product is out of stock and it probably won't be available for 6 months because there is a worldwide shortage of this ingredient and we didn't know and we didn't plan ahead or whatever. And we just weather the storm. Where the smart, savvy companies would like, no, let me reach out to the top leaders so they can inoculate their team about what's going to happen. If there's ever going to be bad news that your team has to hear, you want them to hear it from you. That's how you contain the crisis. So whether it's a company is shutting down a market, whether they're eliminating an entire product line, the company is being sold, the company's facing regulatory activity, whatever, work as a partner with the leadership to try to solve the problem. And you'll be glad you did. Now, one last scenario. There will be cases of what I call DEFCON 1, direct selling scenarios. This is I know the US military does it. I don't know if other countries use this code, but there's a scale, DEFCON 1 to DEFCON 5, when a potential crisis is brewing. So Putin held a press conference and he said, if the United States doesn't do this, I might launch a nuclear strike against them. That would be DEFCON 5. If he moves and activates troops around the missile launch sites, and it might go to DEFCON 3. DEFCON 1 is when the missiles are in the air, okay? The nuclear obliteration is imminent. That's DEFCON 1. There is going to be scenarios of DEFCON 1 for some of you, hopefully not for most of you, but some of you are going to have the president of your company is going to be arrested because they are a child molester who sells crack at middle school and drowns kittens on live TV. And there's no coming back from that, right? That's because they're not even the paid CEO, they're the owner, the founder of the company, and that happens, Or there's crooked owners, and they're like, well, I've got all these top leaders who make more than $50,000 a month. I'm just going to terminate them all, and I'll save all that money, and I'll just keep suing them in court until they run out of money. That's DEFCON 1. You're going to have to, at DEFCON 1, you're sometimes going to have to make the decision of, do I need to leave my company and start all over again? So that's what this book is about. You almost never hear me talk about this because I don't even want new distributors to read it. It's too much for them in the beginning. Their head will explode, right? You don't have to worry about this. If there's 3 people on your team, you don't need to read this book. If there's 11 people on your team, you don't need to read this book. But if you've got 5,000 people, 10,000 people or more on your team, this book has to be, it's like the nuclear code football that they carry around in the briefcase behind the president everywhere they go. This book has to be within reach of you anywhere in the world that you are if a DEF CON 1 scenario comes up. And we'll put a link in the show notes for Amazon where you can get that. And it is available in 6 or 8 or maybe even 10 other languages. So check in your marketplace if English isn't your primary language. But that's just some real straight talk about issues that come up in the business, and how you choose to handle them is going to determine if your business dies or your business gets through it and ultimately grows. All right, have a great week. Love you guys. Peace. Hey, do me a favor before you go. Please rate this podcast and then share it with people you know who could benefit from the business building advice here. And then if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on one of the other platforms that allow comments, please get down below, give us a shout out to the community in the comments section. Thanks.